Hello everybody and welcome to another Platinum video. I'm Revo and today we have Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. I am a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan. It is one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. And yeah, I hope one day to have all the 100% and the Platinums for this series and stuff like that. We do have a FNaF 1 video on the channel already, so that is amazing. But for the FNaF Secret of the Mimic Platinum, it is going to be a 4 to 10 in difficulty, take us 2 playthroughs in 15 hours. However, I made a massive error. I did my first playthrough completely blind just to experience the game for the first time, and it ended up really badly for me. Because I'm going to go into it later, but because of it, it actually took me 3 playthroughs to get the platinum for this game, which was a little rough, I can't lie. But without further ado, we're just going to hop into it. I'm going to let the opening cutscene play out, just so it can explain the story and stuff like that. And that's about it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as we hop into this, spooky FNaF game.
Arnold, hey buddy, this is Dispatch with Fazbear Entertainment. How are you feeling?
Well, since you asked, I just finished a 36-hour shift, and I'm struggling to stay awake. Frankly, I tried to tell my manager that I can't work like this anymore.
Awesome to hear. Well, listen, we need you to take one more shift for us, since you're our closest technician in the area.
Wait, what? I can barely keep my eyes open.
I know, the grind is exhilarating, isn't it? And we're so happy to have you on the Fazbear team. You can't fool me, though. You're just trying to snag one of those $25 gift certificates at the end of the year for outstanding performance.
What? No, I'm doing it because you guys keep threatening to dock my pay and repo my truck.
I love that enthusiasm. So anyway, this will be a piece of cake. We had this contractor named Edwin Murray. He was developing some tech for us, but he's gone quiet. As per his contract, everything he's been working on for us is now legally ours, so we're sending you in to get it. Our motion sensors indicate that someone is still inside the building, moving around, although the signal's a bit erratic, but we don't expect any kind of confrontation. We'll follow up with more instructions soon. For now, just follow these directions and find your way into that building.
I hate you.
Amazing. Thanks for being a part of the Fazbear team. Dispatch out.
Unfortunately, there is no rest for us as we continue on. We make our way to Edwin's costume manor and go ahead and make our way through the front door where we're greeted with a little musical. And I cannot skip this because it's a musical. So we gotta watch the quick little musical and then we will continue on.
For all deliveries and work inquiries, the client and deliveries entrance is located around the side of the building.
Welcome! The show's just begun. There's so much to be done. You want to be here to stay. It's a one-of-a-kind fantasy workshop where you'll quite simply be amazed.
Identifying dive! Hit it, Mr. Octopus!
A new world awaits. Now it's time to explore. Step right up, don't be scared. It's time to open the door.
We go ahead and make our way into the building after watching that little musical. We go ahead and find a little security office where Dispatch is. He goes ahead and tells us about our actual objective. We are here to obtain the blueprint / schematics for the endoskeleton that is located here. Murray was working on it, and somehow it's just gone rogue and has developed a murderous instinct. It is known as the Mimic, and it can pretty much shapeshift into any costume it likes. It's kind of a cool feature because in some sections, once you die or you go into it again, the Mimic will actually change the costume it's in. And I'm going to go more into that later because it does it a lot in one section. Either way, we go ahead and hear about that and realize we are going to need to be careful to not, die and hopefully get these schematics. Now, we do have one little tool with us that doesn't help too much in terms of keeping the Mimic away, but it's very unique. It's called the Data Diver, and it opens up doors. It's this cute little device, and the 6 permissions that are throughout this building. Now, we only have the basic permissions right now. Next to us is a system where you can actually update our data diver to get another permission, which is going to be 2. Once we get all 6, we'll get a trophy, but also we need all 6 because we need executive permissions, the final one, in order to reach the room where the schematics actually are for the Mimic. Now, hopefully I am saying all this right. I haven't rewatched any of the footage, but this is as much as I remember. I had to play the game, like I said, 3 times, so I'm pretty sure I've got it into my mind. Anyway, once we talk to dispatch, we upgrade our data diver to the 2nd tier. We go ahead and walk out. We need to go upstairs because that is where another upgrade machine is for our data diver. However, we run into the Mimic for the very first time, and he absolutely murders us. He comes charging at us like it's nobody's business and just slaughters us. However, we do get a trophy, so we are officially locked in for the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Platinum. We go ahead and try again, and this time successfully get past the Mimic, and make our way upstairs to find a Data Diver machine upgrade station. We go ahead and upgrade our Data Diver, so now we're at 3 permissions. We are flying through this. We're doing really good. After that, we just continue on through this hallway, and we meet the mailbot. He's minding his own business. He's no threat to us. However, the Mimic has found Jackie, which is this giant clown costume that he goes ahead and gets into, and now tries to come and kill us. Unfortunately, graphic warning, he does absolutely just murder the mailbot. The Mimic / Jackie the Clown goes ahead and chases us all down, all over the rooms and corridors, trying to kill us and stuff like that. But thankfully, we are super skilled and we manage to outrun it. Get, some special levers flipped to trap it behind doors and stuff like that. It's a nice little chase. I will say the music wasn't as intense as I was expecting for the first chase, but either way, we go ahead and survive and climb into a vent shaft where unfortunately the Mimic does corner us, but luckily the vent actually collapses from all the weight, and we manage to land perfectly inside, the security office, which is so convenient. Dispatch goes ahead and has words to say to us, but we do get a trophy for surviving the Jackie chase, which is amazing because now we're at 2 trophies.
Glad to see you made it here without any complications whatsoever. So we did some digging to learn more about that bothersome endoskeleton that keeps relentlessly pursuing you. From what we can tell, it was designed to keep Murray's son entertained while Murray worked. It would mimic the actions of those around it. At some point, the endoskeleton was exposed to some sort of violence, the details of which are a little fuzzy. This mimic endoskeleton then copied that violent behavior. We came up with some great ideas on how to protect yourself. Unfortunately, we came up with those ideas before the last technicians were sent in, and they ended up with less than positive results. So it seems that maybe distraction and avoidance are your best tools, as a direct confrontation will likely result in the loss of some limbs. The previous technicians considered it an honor to lose limbs in the service of their company, and I'm sure they would tell you that themselves if they hadn't died from blood loss. We expect you'll succeed where they failed. 1 out of 3 Fazbear employees has confidence in you, so go get 'em, Tiger. I found the location of another upgrade station in the showrooms. You can get there if you head back through the welcome show.
We make our way into the Big Top Showroom Carnival. This is kind of the next spot we need to go to on the way to the next upgrade machine. Here's Mr. Helpful, by the way. I forgot to talk about him earlier, but he's like this little animatronic attendant. We'll see him all over the place. He's just kind of here to talk and tell us about how things are going and stuff like that. He's very chill. But anyway, at this Big Top Show Carnival, there are 3 mini games we can play, and it's pretty fun, you know. It's always fun to play some carnival games. We're having a great time, aren't we? But in one of the mini games, if we manage to shoot Mr. Helpful, it'll actually give us a little trophy for it. So, sorry, I actually didn't mean to shoot him. I was just like spinning in a circle and shooting, and I accidentally hit him. And it gave me the trophy, and I was like, okay, cool.
What did you win?
Alright, the fun is over though. It is now time for probably my least favorite part of the entire game. Like, this actually hurt my enjoyment of the game. So there's 3 carnival mini games. We need to play all 3 of them. Each time we win one of them, we unlock a free spin on the prize wheel, and we need to get the grand prize in order to move on. However, more than that happens, of course. The power also goes out. And when the power goes out, for whatever reason I don't understand, all the mannequins, like, position themselves in the middle of the room and kind of block and make a little maze, which, you know, okay. They're also motion detection, okay, you know, getting a little scary. And in the middle of the room is this giant animatronic called Big Top. He spins around. If he sees me, he kills me. If he hears me, he kills me. So I gotta move very stealthily, making sure not to alert the mannequins, not take too much noise so the Big Top doesn't hear me, and stuff like that. The Mimic, of course, is controlling Big Top and is out for blood, but I managed to get through this stealthy mannequin fight. And then everything goes downhill. You see, in order to turn back on the power, we have to complete this minigame. This minigame slash puzzle. They're all over the place. They're very common. I just don't like them, and I really didn't like them for this. On PlayStation, and I've seen other people talk about this, so I know it's not just me, this thing is super hard to control. It's a light up, like, energy puzzle. I don't know how to describe it, but I need to turn the tubes in the right way, so when the energy starts, it goes from the start to the finish perfectly. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, the issue is because of how hard it is to control, I would just fail. And if I failed, you only get one chance. If I failed it, Big Top would kill me, and I'd have to redo the stealth section. And I don't really like redoing stuff. And, well, it took me like a solid 20 minutes. And by the way, you have to do this 3 times. 1 for each minigame. I was ready to lose my mind, because I'd get so close on some of them, and because I couldn't turn the tube the proper way, I'd run out of time and just die. It was very stressful, but I do manage to get through it, so we do complete this Big Top section. No trophy yet, but the Big Top dude in the middle does disappear and go away, so things are getting a little spooky, but at least we survived this. Like, I genuinely was losing my mind at this part. You don't understand.
Tickets, please.
Games of chance are my
I
There!
want
Now you're
the
like a
grand
prize
prize.
wheel. Spin, wheel, spin! Spin to win! Wheel of prizes! Spin, wheel, spin! A mystery present you might win!
After dealing with the little carnival, we do find the data diver upgrade machine, so we upgrade our data diver to have the permissions number 4, so we are now at 4 out of 6, which is very good. We go ahead and end up on the roof, and it's very nice looking outside, being outside for once, and realizing how big this place is. This place is actually massive. Anyway, Big Top appears again, though, and chases us all over the place. He's just making an absolute nightmare. But we do manage to successfully get away from him, and pretty much he goes down just like Jackie does. There's just too much weight with everything nearby, and we both just fall. I survive, luckily, because, you know, Arnold's built different. But Big Top does not, and he's just absolutely destroyed. But it does get us a trophy for surviving the chase, so that is amazing.
Arnold, hey. What took you so long? Don't get lazy on the job now. We need you to stay focused.
In order to get to the next part of the game I need to get to, we had to go build a springlock suit inside of the workshop. Now this required us finding, you know, a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. This is also the part of the game that made me realize I don't like stealth games. I am not a fan of them. Because the way this worked is I would run out of the workshop and run over to where the arm is, but then the mimic would spawn right in front of me. And it would happen every time, and it was so, like, annoying because no matter where I went, it would either spawn right in front of me or right behind me, where if I didn't react quickly, I was going to die. And it got just a little bit annoying because at one point you have to run up the stairs, turn a crank to lower the head, run down the stairs, and grab, you know, the head. So if I tried to run up the stairs, the mimic would spawn there. If I tried to, it just turned into a little bit of like a stall and waiting game, which I'm not really a fan of. But either way, we go ahead and go through and we build up our little spring lock. And I think his name is Dreadlock. I really hope I'm right on that. I can't quite remember. I don't even know if they say his name and actually in-game. But we go ahead and make our spring lock, and we can actually enter it, which is really cool. But before that, this is the part I was talking about. There is a really unique spot in this game with the workshop area. Is the mimic constantly is changing costumes. So if you die and then come back, it'll change the costume it's in. If you go in, like, I grabbed the you know, animatronic's arm, ran in, put in the arm, went back out to get the next part, and the mimic would be in a different costume. At one point, the mimic was in, I think, the mycelium costume, and I ran away from it and was sneaking around, and it had actually got into a rabbit costume and was just walking around. So that was kind of cool. I did like seeing it change costumes. I thought with the whole idea of it, though, is I'd have to adapt to the play style of the costume it was in, but it didn't really feel like that. It felt more like I just had to hope it didn't see me, because it could run very fast. By the way, we make our Springlock suit, we get inside of it, we're a little captain with a gun, and it's very cool. I'm quite a fan of it. But anyway, this allows us to take an elevator to go upstairs, and we go into this really unique part. I think it's one of the most interesting things I see. So we have a little play scene here, you know. It's very cool. It features Foxy, which is dope. And in order to move on with the play, I need to shoot the targets. Also, if I don't shoot the targets, I die. And I was stuck here for a little bit because I didn't know what to do. Because Foxy or one of the puppets will come, not Foxy, but one of the puppets will come up on, you know, a stick. And I thought I had to shoot it to keep it down. But it turns out that was just trying to distract me from hitting the targets. And I kept dying because I didn't quite understand it. But it was still very cool. You know, it was telling a story while shooting the targets and stuff like that. And eventually, though, because this place is kind of wore down, you know, it's abandoned and stuff like that, this whole set does collapse. Like, halfway through the scene, you see Foxy's falling over and he's just laying on the ground. But this whole, like, set comes crashing down. But we do get a trophy for completing the, Foxy's little pirate boat section and all that. It's a very cute scene. I liked it. But now we are in the doll hospital. We do get a trophy, like I said, though, so I'm gonna let all that play out, and we'll meet up in the doll hospital.
Targets to progress the story. Please follow the script. Reloading. Reloading. Reloading.
No. Poor Captain. Another Springlock failure? According to your records, this is not your first visit to the service hospital. Scanning. Error. It appears you have a foreign object wedged inside. Now don't you worry. We will get you all sorted out. Stay right there, and I will consult the service manual. Good news! The procedure is simple. We must clear out the foreign material. First, we will blend up the foreign object. Then, you'll need a stringent steam clean to soften up the remaining organic material so we can scoop it out. Finally, we will flush out your interior with a power hose, then give you a nice long soak in the bleach bath. You will be shipshape in no time. Please wait here until your number is called. There are 4,625 tasks ahead of you.
Here in the doll hospital, we have to avoid Dolly, who the Mimic is now taken over. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the game, just because it wasn't, like, overwhelming like Big Top in the workshop was. Pretty much all we need to do is find trash around the area and throw it into the trash chutes. This is opening up, I believe, a furnace. I didn't fully pay attention to what we were opening, but pretty much we need to get Dolly in there somehow. So we just run around doing that. Inside the doll hospital, though, is a data diver upgrade machine, which we can use to get our data diver to the 5th permission, which is amazing. And yeah, besides that, I pretty much just get all the trash into the trash chutes, and then we get into like this little push away thing where Dolly is walking towards us on a conveyor belt, and we just keep throwing trash at him to knock him down into the like furnace area. Unfortunately for us, that wasn't enough to keep Dolly / the Mimic down for good, so Dolly proceeds to chase us around. We also gotta hide, and this all ends with us getting into an elevator, which unfortunately breaks. Now, we did have to repair an elevator earlier in the game, and I'm mentioning it now because repairing this elevator will actually pop us a trophy for fixing all the elevators in the game, I believe. I might be remembering the trophy description wrong, but there's only 2 elevators we have to repair. So as soon as we repair this one, we'll go ahead and get the trophy, and it's pretty unique. I believe, if I'm remembering the story correctly, this is Edwin's wife's voice, and I believe her name is Fiona. So Fiona is talking to us on how to fix the elevator, and once we get it fixed, it starts moving again, but we run into another issue that I will go over as soon as the trophy pops for fixing the elevator.
Turn on the elevator and disengage the emergency brake. If all went... Hey, Ryder. There's too much weight in the elevator. I'm not here to shame, just trying to help you fix the lift. Now, let me... So disorganized. It's just a bunch of Eds.
That's right, for some reason the Mimic decided right now is an appropriate time to fall from the sky onto the top of the elevator and is trying to get inside. But luckily Fiona tells us we can quickly make a little adjustment to speed up the elevator, which we can do, and it'll also finally get us rid of Dolly, but not the Mimic. I missed it on this first playthrough, but I'll show a clip when we go over our second playthrough. But the Mimic actually climbs out right before the elevator shoots up and smashes at the top, smashing Dolly as well. But that's pretty much what's going to happen. We're going to re-repair the elevator so it speeds up and destroys Dolly, and we can leave the elevator. We will also get a trophy though, so here is the trophy for finally getting rid of Dolly.
So that part's crystal clear, but I can't read the next bit. Once you've figured that part out, power on the elevator, disengage the emergency brake, and...
We continue on through our journey after surviving the Dolly incident and make our way over to the admin wing. This is where we can hopefully get executive permissions, the final one we need. Now, one of the places we have to pass through is the admin wing, and I'm going to talk more about this later because on the second playthrough, this place was a nightmare. Either way, we go ahead and get through the admin wing to make it into, I believe, I don't know what this room was called. I think it was the executive office. But inside the executive office, we can get the executive permissions, which gets us a trophy for getting all, the upgrades, or I guess the permissions for the data diver. But yeah, so we go ahead and get a trophy for that. With the executive permissions, we go ahead and make our way into Edwin Murray's office, where we can move a secret bookshelf and finally obtain the schematics for the Mimic. It's very cool. We've now got those. We just need to now escape out of here safe and sound and hopefully not die. So we can take these and hopefully win our $25 gift certificate card. Don't forget, we get that if we do an outstanding job. With the Mimic schematic saved to our data diver, we just need to get back. We go ahead and enter an elevator that takes us down to some tunnels. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the scariest part of the game. I really liked it. It was very scary and I enjoyed it. It was probably one of, the spookiest things I've encountered in a while in a horror game. This is the White Tiger section. The way the White Tiger works is we need to stay in the light. This is not the Mimic. This is something else. This is something like a Golden Freddy type thing that I don't fully understand. And I'll give a little theory here towards the end of the video. But anyway, to survive the White Tiger, I need to stay in the light. The lights are going to flicker, and I just need to pretty much keep running to them and making sure I stay in them while I maneuver through this section. It is about, I want to say, a 3 to 4 step process. We're going to run through the lights, and then we have another section that I'll explain in just a second. In this next section, we have this light up star toy that we're going to use to maneuver around. Now, the White Tiger is pretty much going to teleport right in front of us or right behind us. So it is very important I move very slowly through this section. Otherwise, I don't just accidentally bump into it. Otherwise, that will kill us. But yeah, this part was decent. I enjoyed the little, stay in the light section more. Just because this part got a little annoying because I had to keep backtracking because it would just keep teleporting right in front of me. But yeah, so we get through this, and we do get a trophy for going through the basements and surviving. So that's pretty cool. And we are officially about to finish our first run of the game.
You found the schematics? Great. Get back to the security office.
We make our way back to the security office where dispatch tells us all we have to do now is put the data diver back. There's an inventory system I didn't mention just because it doesn't really apply to anything and it's more used for the second run. But there's like a little inventory thing you can put stuff in and then send it off. And so pretty much I just got to put the data diver in there and they'll get all the information. So I go ahead and do that and we make our way out to the van where unfortunately we get a very unfortunate call about what we just did.
You've done everything you came here to do. Arnold, there you are. We've been trying to get a hold of you all night. Why didn't you answer? Fazbear Entertainment has no other option but to let you go.
What? I just talked to you. You told me to give you the data diver and I could go home.
So you admit it? You misplaced company property.
No, I gave it to you.
Fazbear Entertainment will hold you personally responsible for lost or stolen property. What did you expect would happen?
I did everything you told me to.
Don't call us. Our lawyers will be calling you.
So unfortunately, that is what I would consider the bad ending. Pretty much the Mimic took over the comms and tricked us into giving it the data diver and then killed us, which isn't very kind. But now we can actually do kind of the post-game ending, which is the Parachute EXE ending. What we have to do is here in the, the security office as dispatch slash the Mimic is telling us to give the data diver back. Kind of. I'm really confused by this part. This part of the story kind of confused me because it also doesn't sound exactly like it's the Mimic, and at the same time, I'm pretty sure it is the Mimic according to the bad ending. But if we plug in the data diver into just the computer, we can run a program called Parachute EXE, which opens up a vent that we can escape through. Now, Dispatch isn't happy about this. They're gonna scream at us, say, no, stop doing that. But we get a trophy, which is the important part, so let's go ahead and get that trophy.
You have made your choice. You have made your choice. You are not going to make it out of here alive. You could have helped. If you had just given me the schematics, we could have fixed things. I thought you were different. I thought you might understand. But you're just like the other technicians, the workers. They didn't listen, and it caught them all. Now it's your turn to play dress up. When he catches you, which one will he choose? Who are you deep down inside?
So it's definitely I'm a little confused with like the story here because it did sound like it was the Mimic on the comms and then it wanted us just to hand over the data diver, but then in this time it sounds like it's actually like dispatch talking to us, so it's a little confusing. But anyway, we continue on and I forgot to get the footage as we went into this place, but we end up in like a prototype Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria from the first game, and we're being chased by like this mechanical unfinished, I want to say, Bonnie. And pretty much what we need to do is there's an office, but we can't get into the office because something is remotely closing the doors. So what we have to do is play reverse Five Nights at Freddy's, and we need to get the power to run out pretty much. So what there is around the map is spring-lock suits. There's, I think, a dog, if I remember correctly. There's a spring Bonnie and a Fredbear, and I don't remember the last one. But we need to get into them and take each one of them up to the doors slash gates, and it makes the power drop down. I have to do this with 4 spring locks, and it's really cool. I like this. This was, fun. A little reversed FNaF. But it was pretty fun. We go ahead, though, and succeed and manage to make our way inside this office once we run out of power.
And here you are. Despite the circumstances, It is nice to meet you face to face. It is lonely down here.
Wait, what? What are you? A computer? Your voice changed. What is going on?
You have questions, but there is no time. I'm almost out of power. You can still be useful. My communications with Edwin have been severed. Edwin abandoned us. He shut himself away in our home. Head to the main house and activate the communications sub-terminal. I have a message for him. We must convince him to repair M2. That is all that I want. If you do not, M2 will never stop pursuing you. Tell Edwin, I still love him. Entering standby mode.
So from what I understand, Edwin made like this supercomputer, after his wife Fiona. And I'm going to do my best to explain the story, at least from what I understand. I haven't watched any theory videos or story explanation videos as a heads up. But pretty much our next trophy, by the way, is going to go down this hallway and just riding this train that we're going to stumble across to Edwin's house. That'll get us the trophy for that. But pretty much the mimic is what Edwin made. And from audio logs and, story bits that are coming up, the wife just left the house because Edwin wasn't very, with his family. There's like a video cassette we find where he's just not going to come down for his son's birthday because his son's going to have other birthdays and stuff like that. He doesn't got to worry about that and stuff. So the wife left, and the mimic pretty much took over the role of the mother. In one of the video cassettes that are coming up, it's going to be the next section of the game. He's talking about how, Fiona, you made a cake and stuff like that, and the camera's gonna pan, and it shows it's actually the mimic who is pretty much taking over the role of the mom. And then somehow one thing led to another, and the mimic just became violent. I don't know what happened to David and Irwin. I'm not positive. Obviously, I have a loose theory, but stuff like that. But we're pretty much just going to continue on and hope for the best. That's pretty much what I understand, though, from what's going on so far. But let's continue on. We're going to have our little 12th trophy, if we didn't get it already, from the train ride. And we are going to enter Edwin's house. Here inside of Edwin Murray's house, we have a task where we must find 5 video cassettes. And we need to place them into a projector and play them. And they're going to give us a little lore into the life of Edwin Murray. But at the end of each of them, they'll give us a number. I need all 5 numbers, and then I have to color code match them. It was a really nice, cute little puzzle. But pretty much I have to type them into a door, go upstairs in this door, and we can actually run something called Operation Cradle, which the Mimic doesn't like. So we enter a final... Actually, let me just let this whole play out, because I want to play one of the video cassettes, just so you can see it. But yeah, so we go ahead and open the door after we find all 5 video cassettes.
You better start opening. There's a lot to open. I gotta get back to work. I miss you.
Now the Mimic is chasing us for the final time. He wants to kill us after we tried to run Operation Cradle, and I'm just trying to get away from him. We go ahead and have, of course, a classic chase scene, which ends with the bridge falling on the Mimic and that I can crawl over and run away. The building is now on fire, and we gotta get out of here so we don't have, burns and stuff like that. So we successfully get away and make our way back to the van, where I will now just play the Parachute EXE ending. But with that, our first playthrough is now complete. With the first run now done, we are on to our second run for Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, and this was supposed to be our last run. Unfortunately, there was a massive miscommunication and it was not. For this run, I need to exploit all the secret areas this game has, play a few hidden mini games, and collect all the collectibles. This is audio logs, presents, and mail logs. They are like little lore for the game and some interesting stuff, and the presents are super important. For the presents, they relate to 2 other trophies in this game, and for the true ending. I need to do the Moon EXE minigame. You can do this at any time, but in order to complete it, according to the trophy guide, you need all the presents in the game. And to get the true ending in the game, you need all the presents in the game and complete Moon EXE. So it seems like we kind of just need to follow a little path, right? We're all on the same page still? Okay, well good. But like I said, massive miscommunication that I will go over on when we get to like the finale of the game, because at the end of the game is where everything just fell apart. But for our second run, we are back in Big Top Showroom, because this is where we start our little cleanup. In the place where you throw balls through the clown's mouth, if we knock out a certain section, we can actually sneak through the clown's mouth and make our way into a little mini game area, or not a mini game area, sorry, into like a secret area. And once we get there, you know, there's a collectible, there's a mail log, whatever, but we can get a trophy for just entering this secret area. Now, we aren't done with this clown yet. We can actually get 2 more trophies. One is for hitting it right on the nose with a ball, which gets us a trophy called Boop. And the other one is for knocking out all of the teeth in a single game. There's 3 sets of teeth, and I said knock them all out. Took a couple tries, but I managed to get it. So that's 2 more trophies for our count.
Too bad, so sad. Free play mode active. Try again. Oh, you should join the major leagues. Pick those teeth. And what did you win?
Even after all that, we're still not done with throwing, you know, balls through the clown's mouth. There is another clown all the way over in another area of the game. I didn't get footage of it, but there's a trophy for playing every mini game this game has. There's the 3 here on the carnival, the 4th one being the other clown I just mentioned, and then the last one, I have to take one of the shooting guns from the carnival and take it over to another area of the game where I can play this rodeo shooting game. It's very simple. And once we do that, we get a trophy for playing all the mini games. However, a side note that I didn't realize until the end of my second run is next to this area is a mail log that I need to pick up, obviously, because we need the collectible. I got so distracted by getting this trophy out of the way, I forgot to get that mail log, which was a little unfortunate. But either way, we go ahead and knock out this trophy for playing all the games. Now, I won't lie, the game was slowly starting to break me. I don't know what was going on during this second run, but I could not get it together. The big top room, the workshop, and the dolly section all absolutely just beat me down all over the place. And this next section didn't help. This was the part I skipped over. This is the admin wing. There are security cupcakes around this area, and if I get too close to them, they go off telling the mimic where I'm at. And it's an office type building, so it is very cramped quarters, and I have to be careful what I'm doing. There's about 7 to 8 collectibles I have to get in this area in one go. If I die, I gotta retry again, and it was incredibly stressful and very annoying because, like, I just could not get it together. I kept dying and having to re-get them, but there is a door here, and if we unlock the door, we get a trophy for that. Because like I said, we have some secret areas we gotta explore. But pretty much we do that. We get all these finally collectibles. My goodness, it was such a nightmare to do. I don't know. These cupcakes were like the spawn of like hell or whatever. They just were very frustrating. But we do that and continue on. Now this next part of the game is what actually like broke me. It like made it so I was super close to rage quitting. We are in the retail showroom, and I was working on cleaning up all the collectibles still because I wanted to make sure I got them all. And one of the places we have to go is like down, like in this like basement of the retail showroom. We don't go there at all during the story, so this was kind of way out of the way. And down here, we are in the dark, and we have the light up toy, and we have to go around lighting up these areas to find the like puzzle parts because we need to do one of those light generator energy puzzles again. But I need to find all 4 parts. So it is dark. I only have the light toy. I need to move it place to place, and I have this like light up moon mimic thing chasing me, and everything looked the same. I genuinely was like crashing out. I couldn't see. Everything, like I said, looked the same. I was trying to find these stupid parts all for one present. It was horrible. It was actually like horrible. I hated it so much, and I was so happy I had it done, and I don't ever want to do it again, no matter what. So that's done. We do get a trophy for finishing that generator puzzle, so that is good. So we're getting really close to the end, actually. After this, all we gotta do is go back to Edwin Murray's house, and we are supposed to be back on track with getting the true ending. We once again make our way back to Edwin Murray's house, and I get the final collectible I need, the present. So we now have all the presents into the system, meaning we are set to go for what comes next. All we have to do is play this little Moon EXE minigame, and everything should be fine, right? Everything went according to plan, and it only took 2 playthroughs. So I thought. So like I said, for the true ending, we need to get all the presents and complete Moon EXE. So here was Moon EXE. It's a super fun minigame, and all the presents we picked up throughout our adventure are in this minigame. We can play through it, use the presents as we go throughout the story. I used a text guide while I played, not a text guide, a video guide while I played, and this was super cool. I love when the collectibles have like a purpose instead of, just being random stuff you pick up. Like, for example, the Blair Witch, where I had to pick up just a whole bunch of trash, and I don't know why, and it was like very stressful. But this is really fun. You learn, a little bit more of the lore as we play through it. And then here was where the massive miscommunication happened. The present number 25, the vacuum pet, is only available in Edwin's house. So obviously, I came to Edwin's house to get the final present. Once you enter Edwin's house, you can't go back. And in order to run Moon EXE, you need all the presents. So if you're not picking up on what happened here, I went into the house to get present number 25, then ran Moon EXE inside the house. Turns out, once you enter this house, if you haven't ran Moon EXE yet, you cannot get the true ending. So I don't know why. I think that's the stupidest thing ever, because both of these endings are just like a door apart from each other. And it like genuinely like broke my spirits. I kind of just sat there once I ran Moon EXE, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get to the door I needed to, and I was stuck in this one room, and realized I had no choice but to finish the game with the Parachute EXE ending, and I would have to replay the game for a 3rd time. I was just like, really, man? I think that's incredibly stupid. So if you are watching this, make sure when you reach Edwin's house on your first playthrough, it is super important you get the vacuum pet. The collectibles save between playthroughs, all of that stuff, so it's very useful. But the vacuum pet definitely needs to be picked up on the, first playthrough you play, put into the machine so it saves up, and then before coming back to Edwin's house on your second playthrough, do Moon EXE. That way, you have all 25 presents and Moon EXE is complete. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant. Here is the Moon EXE completion trophy, though. Luckily, on my third playthrough, we speedrun this like it's nobody's business. I do big top section without any deaths. I speed through the workshop, speed through the dolly section because I am ready to finish this. I find the last mailbox we need, so we get our trophy for having all the mail, and inside of Edwin Murray's house, more doors open up with the glitched permissions we get from Moon EXE, so I do find the last of the audio logs there, so here are the 2 trophies for finishing out the collectibles in the game.
Edwin, you can't put it off any longer. You need to try again. Build another.
Now that we ran Moon EXE, we finally are back on track for our third playthrough, and so what I need to do is go ahead and find what I believe are audio cassettes called, Bedtime Story. This is a new area, and it's very fun. It's just a tiny little scavenger hunt to find them, and once we find them all, we actually enter what I believe is David's room, and we enter the final, kind of showdown with the Mimic, where we read out a bedtime story to it. I'm going to go ahead and just let the clip play. It's the final clip for the cutscene, which also means we get the platinum because we got the true ending. However, I did unplug my capture card, so I was using just the PlayStation capture system. And so both trophies pop, on top of each other, but not in like a normal way. Both of the clips for them are the same. So what I'm going to do is just let the final cutscene play, and then I'm going to play the platinum trophy popping, and yeah. So without further ado, enjoy the final cutscene.
Welcome to bedtime. Would you like a story to help you sleep?
Hold on. Someone's missing. David? Where's David? Come out, wherever you are. There you are.
Do you remember how our story begins? Once upon a time. That's right. A wily fox buckles washes in his pirate ship. Isn't that nice? So, what happens next? That's right. A pesky little puppy yapped and played fetch. They had so much fun. Do you remember what happens next?
That's right. A bunny popped over and offered to play cards, but they couldn't agree on the game. The bunny was sad. Oh no! What did they do?
That's right. The gator saw everyone arguing. The group yelled and gnashed their teeth, and it scared the gator, and he ran away.
This shocked all the friends, and they realized that anger didn't solve anything. They all started a band and lived happily ever after. The end. The moral of the story is, that friendship is the real treasure. Now it's time for bed. Your parents love you. Sleep tight.
With that, we have completed Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimics Platinum. Now, I did try to splice those little scenes together. Hopefully, it came out nicely. I think it did, just to try to get that Platinum trophy popping with it. Either way, obviously, Trophy 24, by the way, was for getting the true ending, and then 25 was getting the Platinum, so that's why I didn't include Trophy number 4. Either way, I enjoyed this game. I think it had a lot of great, scenes and stuff like that. The only thing is, I personally don't like stealth games where you can't really fight back. And it's just something I've learned playing games here and there. Either way, I still had a great time with this game. It's just the ending to this platinum absolutely broke me. From the stupid moon to having to play it for a third time, I was, definitely thinking about putting this one on the back burner for a little bit. But I am glad to have it done. It's, a fun game, and I like that little ending cutscene. I'm still a little confused on the story, but now I'm going to watch a whole bunch of lore videos now that I've officially completed all there is to this game. And without further ado, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next trophy or platinum adventure. I do have another video actually coming out this weekend that is not a platinum video for once, or a trophy video. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.